In just 3 weeks, I went from being severely unsatisfied with my life to achieving many of my goals. But let me tell you, the path to get there was anything but smooth straight lines. And that being said, I credit my success to two philosophies, Kaizen and Buddhism.
Kaizen is a Japanese word which means continual improvement, and we use these Chinese characters.
You can watch this video in two ways. You can either dismiss these philosophies as religious BS you couldn't care less about, or you can look deeper, viewing this as more than a religion, gaining extraordinary reward. So, what is the Buddhist secret of improving 1% each day? You've already heard all the common tips, but you haven't heard of the three golden pillars that improvement is built upon. So in Buddhism, the monks use something called an alms bowl. And basically what an alms bowl is, because monks can't handle any money, they have to walk around the town or the city, begging around the streets, looking for other Buddhists who are not monks to give them. Now, over the years, the alms bowl has been through so many different rounds and variations before it became the alms bowl that we know today. So as you can see, the first variation is Induk Lahara, from the point of a wooden goal. The problem was that people despised monks, so the answer that they did was to break the wooden bowl and the Indra procession should not be shown. The second one is that bowls of various sizes, large and small, made of gold and silver, will be used. And then people still despise monks. So then bowls made of this material, gold, silver, gems, glasses should not be used. Bowls made of yamua and clay are fu. And then you see there are so many more different variations until the 29th. So every time a problem does, the Buddha fixes that problem on the next variation that he creates. And this 29 rounds alms bowl actually inspired me for the strategy that I'm going to take with my YouTube channel. I had a channel before this, he had another channel before that. They weren't really that refined until the video I have today. 1% improvement every single day. And if I didn't do the 1% improvement and instead I tried perfection, I would have burned out and I would quit a lot faster. Now in the modern world, this is called Kaizen, 1% improvement.
This means Kai, and Kai means change. And Zen means, for the better. So together, Kaizen means continual improvement.
According to, I'm going to butcher this, Jayanta Kaluisuriya, in his article, The Concept of Kaizen, A Root Exploration, the root of the Kaizen philosophy was Buddhism. And the Buddhist method of doing this is to solve problems incrementally and standardize solutions, just like the alms bowl. And we can actually apply this into our daily lives. And the thing is, as we go more and more and more into this journey, we can start improving more than 1% a day. So maybe today we improved 1%. Maybe tomorrow we can improve 2%. Then the next day, 3%. That's what it's all about. And as you can see, the other philosophy or the other teaching behind Kaizen and Buddhism is to start really before you know how. At the beginning, they probably didn't know how to make perfect alms bowl. But they still did. They still tried to make an alms bowl. Over the years, they refined it into the alms bowl we have today. As for a quick actionable step, I prompt you to ask yourself, what is 1% improvement that you can do every day? And once you have that, take action on it. Now, the second step is one of the most important, but it's also one of the most overlooked, and that is to remain equanimous. There will be days when you do not feel like improving. That is true. It happens for me. It happens for other people. And this is the nature of human experience. We feel positive on this day. We feel negative on this day. But if we always give in to our impulses, if we don't meditate on that day because we feel like it, we will never grow. And that's why it's important to implement one of the sublime emotions in Buddhism, and that is equanimity. Equanimity basically means remaining calm under pressure. And regardless of how we feel, we can generate equanimity and do the work anyway. We will have no high highs when we're up on the honeymoon stage and everything is going perfect and we're so egotistically. And there will be no low lows where we're down in the depths of darkness trying to clutch onto anything that we can find because we want to get the high. When we're equanimous, we just remain consistently peaceful where we are at this present moment. And equanimity is a muscle, and the way I train this muscle is to do 15-minute daily guided meditations on this app called the Plum Village app. every single day. Now, you might say you don't want to meditate, but it really does help a lot to train this, because when you meditate and you don't feel like it and you keep on meditating, 15 minutes is fine. You were able to have the clarity to focus on the stressful experience instead of running away from it. We can't just focus on the outer work like going to the gym or getting the good grades in school, because we need the inner work too in order to not get burned out in the long run. Inner work is what produces higher quality outer work. It's kind of like two ways of the bird. Without one, the other one cannot function. Which leads us onto the next point, and that is wax on, wax off. Now, when we're focused solely on the results when we do work, we don't really produce that high quality of a work, and we don't really enjoy our work anyway. And since we can die with a literal snap finger as much as we can, it's beneficial for us if we actually enjoy our work, if we actually learn how to be with the moment. If you've ever watched the Karate Kid movie, I like this movie when I was small. So Mr. Miyagi is the mentor and Daniel is the student. Daniel is the karate student, and before Mr. Miyagi teaches Daniel any lessons about karate, he tells Daniel to
wax on, hat. Wax off, hat. Concentrate. Look in my eye.
He tells Daniel to sweep the floors. He tells Daniel to clean the windows of his car, without telling him the result of his actions. Later on in the movie, we realize that these small actions of sweeping the floor are actually beneficial in his long-term karate journey. And we can learn from this. We can learn from focusing and just doing the work, not for the result, but because of the process. Just to set in irritation because we like this meditation. Just to work that cold call in our sales business because we like actually working on a sales business. Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh says, "It is possible for us to live every moment of our daily lives in such a way that every moment becomes a moment of healing." Make life your art. Make your work your art form. Even hard things, even that methods them, they start to become healing because you start to appreciate the moment as it is. And here's something that most people don't realize, and it's that life isn't meant to be easy, and that's not a bad thing. Somewhere along the way, we got this idea that difficulty is something to be avoided. But here's the truth. Difficult isn't bad. Difficult is just unlabeled. Difficult is just a story that we've created in our mind. But really think about it. Every beautiful thing that you've ever admired, strength, wisdom, mastery, it all came from not avoiding the challenge, but actually embracing the process. The mountain climber doesn't curse at the uphill path. The artist doesn't complain about the hours that they spend perfecting their craft. The monk doesn't resent his long years of meditation. They embrace it. Why? Because life is happening in the process, not in the results. The struggle, the uncertainty, the moments when you feel like giving up, that's where the growth is. That's where you are being shaped. But here's where it gets deeper. The process never ends. The finish line is the process. And that's beautiful. There's always room for adventure and exploration and discovery. Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh said something along the lines of, "I don't have to wait for my dream to unfold. My dream is unfolding right now through the actions that I do. And if my dream is unfolding now, I can be sure that my dream is unfolding in the future too." And even in some talks, some Dhamma talks, when Thich Nhat Hanh says that the journey is already, still recognizes the importance of humility. Finish line is the process, and every step that we take, whether it feels like progress or failure, these steps are part of the unfolding. And when you see that, when you really get that, suddenly life stops being something to conquer and actually starts to be an experience. Each moment, no matter how difficult they are, starts to become an opportunity to grow, to learn, because the goal isn't to avoid difficulty. The goal is to see it, face it, and let it transform it. Not for the results, not for some mysterious endpoint that comes 10 years down the line, but because this, right now, is life.
New cells are formed by cell division, in which one cell splits to become two cells. Cell division involves two processes. In the first, called
Messy, complicated, beautiful, and that's enough. So that's the Buddhist secret of improving 1% each day. But everything that you may have learned in this video is completely useless if you won't even remember it in the first place. Click on this video if you want to learn more about Buddhism and how you may implement it into your daily life. As always, live in the now because tomorrow may never come.